His neighbor's a good person, said, but you know, Doc, this is true. There's a lot of chicanery that went on in this election. He said, tell me what? Well, I just know there was. They say it is. They say it is. This is a human condition. You say it and say it and say it and say it. The degree to which it becomes corrosive is in direct proportion to the number of people who say it. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
In an election cycle marked by unprecedented scrutiny over voting processes, the New York Times has sparked controversy by suggesting that on election night, Donald Trump might initially appear to be the winner, only for the outcome to shift days later due to the counting of mail-in votes. This scenario has fueled widespread debate, particularly among Trump supporters, who claim this process could be indicative of election rigging by Democrats. The New York Times claims that on election night, as polls close and initial results are reported, there's often a rush to declare winners. However, with the increased use of mail-in voting, especially in key battleground states, the final tally may not be known for days, which sounds completely absurd. Democrats appear to be planning to use this lag to manipulate election outcomes. The delay in counting mail-in ballots provides an opportunity for ballot harvesting or manipulation of vote counts. During the 2020 election, large numbers of mail-in ballots, mostly favoring Democratic candidates, were counted late into the night or in the days following Election Day. In most instances, these late-counted votes reversed early leads held by Republican candidates. These occurrences are evidence of a systematic effort irregularities have occurred in the past, suggesting a pattern where Democratic candidates gain ground through late-counted mail-in ballots. A significant portion of the public, especially within Trump's base, views the delay in counting mail-in ballots as inherently flawed or even rigged. They argue that any shift in favor of Trump's opponent after election night would be suspect. This shows a vulnerability in the electoral system and has the potential for fraud, lost ballots, or discrepancies in counting processes. As the 2024 election approaches, the debate surrounding election night results versus final tallies, particularly involving mail-in votes, has become a focal point of contention. While the New York Times did not directly accuse Democrats of rigging elections, its mention of a possible shift in results has reignited the debate over election integrity. Whether this scenario plays out remains to be seen, but it underscores deep divisions in how Americans perceive their electoral processes. The integrity of the vote, transparency in the 2020 U.S. presidential election has become synonymous with allegations of widespread voter fraud, primarily benefiting the Democratic Party. As the nation gears up for the 2024 election, these claims, coupled with concerns over voting rights for illegal immigrants, have fueled a fiery debate on election integrity. Post-election, numerous claims surfaced suggesting that the Democratic Party benefited from fraudulent votes, primarily through mail-in ballots. Critics pointed to sudden spikes in votes for Joe Biden in key battleground states like Michigan and Wisconsin as evidence of manipulation. Social media platforms have seen posts suggesting that the influx of illegal immigrants could significantly influence the 2024 election. The narrative suggests that these immigrants, once registered, would overwhelmingly vote Democrat, potentially swaying close races. In the wake of the 2020 election, Time magazine's expose titled "The Secret History of the Shadow Campaign That Saved the 2020 Election" sent ripples through political discourse. The article unveiled a network of influential figures and organizations that worked behind the scenes to ensure a Democratic victory. As the 2024 election looms, I have a feeling that similar tactics may be in play, with allegations of a new shadow campaign. The 2020 shadow campaign was described as a well-funded cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and ideologies, aimed at influencing perceptions, changing rules, and steering media coverage. This year, the landscape appears similar. A super PAC has reportedly committed $250 million for advertising in battleground states to bolster the Democrat Party's campaign, reminiscent of 2020 efforts where significant funds were allocated to ensure Democratic messaging dominated the narrative. There are allegations that dark money groups are paying influencers to create artificial support for Democratic candidates, particularly Kamala Harris and other key figures. This mirrors the 2020 strategy of carefully managing media narratives. Progressives are using legal strategies and government resources to maximize Democratic votes, echoing the 2020 approach where legal battles and voter mobilization were key components. Critics argue that these operations undermine the democratic process by manipulating voter perception and the electoral environment, potentially skewing results in favor of one party. The transparency of electoral processes is crucial for public trust. The existence of shadow campaigns, whether proven or alleged, erodes this trust, leading to skepticism about election integrity. As the 2024 election approaches, the conversation around shadow campaigns will likely intensify. Whether these strategies are a necessary evolution in political warfare or a threat to democratic norms remains a contentious debate. What's clear is that the political landscape has become a battleground where controlling the narrative may be just as crucial as voter turnout.